Rock for life. Rock for life. All right. It's politics time. Welcome to the show, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those in Facebook land, in Twitter land, in YouTube land, whatever land you find yourself in today. Welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Our controls today is Sam Gado and my colleague Joa Bimba. We are expecting the other colleagues to join us as well for today's politics show. So today there's a lot to talk about. It's an hour show. My brother, welcome to the show, man. How
Yeah,
you
thank
doing?
you. Thank you. Thank you.
How is the family doing over there?
Doing much better. Doing great. We give thank God, thank you for life.
Okay, okay. You're getting much better now?
Yeah, much better. Doing much better.
That's good. That's good. Okay. You'll always be better. That's good. Politics, those of you watching us online, wherever you're watching us, we like you to share the link to your various platforms or um, whoever you want to send a link to. Talk TV Media Network is here to bring you the political recap of politics happenings in Liberia, around the world, um, and whatever is happening. This is where we bring it to you on every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 2 Eastern Time, and 6 p.m. Liberian Time, and 7 p.m. British Time. So we have just on our show, and the colleagues are coming in right now. Um, Welcome to the show, man. Welcome. How you doing, Otisin?
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
How you doing? How's Foya? All the way out there in Foya.
Thank God. Foya is good, and I'm good too.
That's good. That's good. It's good to have you on the show today. So at least you can give us the latest happenings in Foya
And
district.
for your district.
Yeah.
I'm very much appreciated for that.
Okay, so as we already know, there has been elections. Elections has taken place in Lofa. It was heated. Well, I wouldn't call it heated because it was just the last phase, last part of it. It wasn't heated like one would expect it. Um, but here's the outcome. Joel,
Huh?
what's your take, man, of the results?
Um, the result was it looked like it was a very close race. All right.
Right?
I understand that the Unity Party has some concerns with the election results, but I think like I said before, I think we talk on this show. Um, Tom Fala living in Foya is a factor that I think you can never underestimate.
Right.
That's something you need to that's something you cannot underestimate. So what I strategically saw is that, you know, in Lofa County, like everywhere around Liberia, with the exception maybe of Monrovia or Montserrado, there's always this tribal factor that have to interplay.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, there were no other bandit candidate that ran. That's what I observed. No bandit candidate ran. The only
Right.
bandit candidate that ran was Mr. Jala.
Yeah, Jala. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very striking to me. When I did my analysis initially, I did not factor that in until later on did I get to realize there were no other bandit candidate that ran. Now, Thomas Fala succeeded in making sure that his Kissy brothers supported Fala, because Thomas Fala is like an ambassador for George Weah in Foya. People need to
Yeah, he
take note of
is.
that.
He is not like an ambassador. He is
He is the ambassador for George Weah in Foya district.
the ATM
Now,
machine.
yeah, no matter how much JMB, if JMB wants to have a very much influence, like I always said, I'm one of those who have criticized JMB of being passive. If I
Right.
were a presidential candidate, a forerunner presidential candidate, the moment I hear that fella was in Foya, I'll move to Lofa automatically. I'll be in Lofa. The moment fella went to Lofa, I Joel Bimba will be. In fact, my residents will go back to Lofa. And the reason why I would do that is because what gives JMB much more strategic force in the election is Lofa County. So he needs to change. Monrovia need to be a place he need to be in infrequently. If I were him now ahead of the
Mm-hmm.
election, I
Right.
would be in Lofa County. Let me say, if there's in 1 month, I'll be in Lofa County 3 weeks. 3 weeks in Lofa County, 1 week in Monrovia. 3 weeks in Lofa County, 1 week in Monrovia ahead of the elections. That's what I'll be doing if I were JMB. So I believe that JMB, they were passive, like I've always said, and that passiveness is going to have an impact on them because once the FOIA vote continue to split, it puts CDC in a better chance because what CDC is doing here is
Yeah.
CDC knows that Monserrado, they cannot get Monserrado like before. So what they are doing, they are trusting the rural votes in counties like Lofa County,
Mm-hmm.
in counties like Bond County. They want to make sure that they have higher rural votes that will cover with the gap in Monserrado. That's the strategy.
Wow. Wow. Different analysis than far
Yeah,
more than when the election had just ended without NEC now bringing out coming out with a report. You
yeah.
know, because the factors that should have been looked at when I looked at that, Thomas Fowler over the time literally almost had been living in Foya,
He's living for you.
and lobbying around those young people, young boys, and with all the barrage of candidates and big names that went to Foya, I mean, those boys were not shaking. You know, they were standing behind it because I
Yeah,
remember seeing those boys in the rain chanting and stuff and
yeah,
supportive. So it was something that was very interesting to see. Clashes with a nephew and an uncle, because he was making those analysis as in it was a disgrace that Honorable Boakai, the father in the house, would sit down and see the uncle as Yeke Koloba, talking trash about him because the Kisses and the Lomas and the Bandis, it doesn't matter the age. Once you Kissy, you the uncle. They got to give you that respect and honor. So he didn't get that respect. So that was his own issue. But looking at the dynamics, the politics that was involved into it, autism, from
Yes.
your end, you were there in Lofa. You are there, not even where you were there, and you took part. You would became part of the entire process as one of the election monitors or supervisors to one of the polling stations. What was your experience? Talk to us about your own personal experience. You know, because you were not in FOIA, you were assigned out of FOIA, right?
Yes, sir.
So
All right.
what was yeah, what was your experience?
The experience in the past election, the just ended Lofa County or by election. Um, from my observation, what I saw, it was like it was competitive. It was like baton changes between Unity Party and that of
Hold on. We're
CDC.
getting a hold on. We're getting a feedback. Is it from you, Jasper? We're getting a lot of noise feedback coming in. If you have a lot of noise in the background, you're gonna have to
Yeah,
assist.
please, please. Oh, yeah, coming. I think me
You
and
can
just.
mute yourself so when you're ready to come on, or I can mute you from here. Let me see. So when you're ready to speak, then you just unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, as I was saying, the election as I observe it is competitive between them, the Unity Party and that of the CDC supported candidate,
Right.
Councillor Jala. Yeah, and I compare with before and that of now for Unity Party and that of CDC, you will see that CDC is making a hell wave in FOIA, to be specific, because in the past, CDC never used to give any, enough vote in FOIA. But in the just ended or by election for senator of Lofa, CDC got huge vote. The only difference there was 500. CDC got 5,000 and Unity Party got 5,500 votes. So this clearly shows that if Ambassador Boake wants to maintain the popularity in Lofa County, he needs to do something. He has to come down and then take or wear his political garment so that he can regain the glory in Lofa County. But for now, I can lie to you, it's a good fight between them. No one owns Lofa for now. From my observation, Lofa County is not owned by any political party or any individual standing as a politician, whether godfather, whether hero or whatsoever. But hence you entered politics. No one owns Lofa County for now.
But
And
yeah.
based on that, and based on from the report or result given by NEC, the entire county is yet quiet. No one knows who's going to take the seat. The supporters of Unity Party are saying that they must go to court. They are always yearning towards that and asking, doing inquiries every day on a daily basis to their political leaders as to whether they will leave the case or to continue to the court. They are on that. And also the followers of CDC, they are always on their alert and they have the faith that hence Jala has been declared a winner. He must take the seat no matter what. Even if they go to court, he will be in the office while they are judging the case.
Right.
So that's the
So
perception, and
let me
that's
come
what
in.
the people of local county are understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, let me come in right there, especially to Joel. Um, oh, where did he go? Okay. Um, yeah, if Joel comes back, that's a legal question where I wanted to talk to him about. Let him come back, and then but Jasper, you were welcome to the show, bro. How's Liberia this evening? How's Monrovia?
Thank you very much for the show. Monrovia, it's just a rainy day today. It's wet. It's a wet day here in Monrovia. Since 6 o'clock this morning,
Right.
we've been experiencing a heavy downpour of rain. I think the rain just gave us a little chance, but yesterday was still dressing. So we've been a rainy day today in Monrovia.
That's good. That means you're getting a lot of blessing coming from heaven. So that's good. But you were at the Unity Party headquarters during the week when the media actually covered the story when they gave up their statement with regards to um or where they stand with regards to the election in Lofa. What was your take? The entire, scenario, how it took place, and what was your observation? Because I know I'm
Honestly,
going to bring the legal aspect to Joel.
yeah, thank you very much. First of all, let me say thanks for being on the show today again. Let me say this: a Unity Party as a whole, they are not yet ready for state power. because I went there to cover that identical press conference, and I think I share even the press release was also shared on this platform. But it will baffle you to know that the party itself is not organized and it's not ready. It's not ready for state power.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean the party is not ready
Okay.
for state power? You have political strong men, in the party and intellectuals and all of that. What do you mean by it's not ready for state power?
Yes, because when I say they don't ready for state power is, when I went to cover the story, the first of all, our Unity Party told us that the press conference going to be held at 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning.
Right?
To our utmost surprise, we were there. As a journalist, you have to be in time, not on time. We were there to cover the program, and then later on, after 1 or 2 hours, they told us that, look, gentlemen, we due to some inconveniences, we will be convening the press conference by 2 o'clock. We waited for 2 o'clock because some of us left on far distances. And on that note, 2 o'clock reached, and then there were no briefing as to how or what they are not yet still ready to give all the press release. But then we went into 3:30. 3:30, we couldn't get the press release. The press and publicity could not come out to tell us what was the main problem. And we, the journalists, were just in a conference hall, having a little debate and getting views, soliciting views from one another. So to my utmost surprise, later on by 4, they tell us, oh, look, gentlemen, we will be doing a press conference by 5:30. And in fact, let me tell you, Ambassador Barker did not even come on time because he was the one who's supposed to read a press release. He did not come on time. He came at 4 o'clock. And when he came by 4 o'clock, what we observed and what we heard in the corridor of Unity Party is that the press release that were written, it was not in good faith. So at the end result, they have to paraphrase
You have to
and
go to the war room to re-strategize
yeah, to re-strategize, to come
at
back
the
to
last hour.
to the public, and then to come and give out the press release. So when I say they are not ready for state power, look, I cover Alexander Kumi's press conference, and most of these guys, when Alexander Kumis tell you 3 o'clock, it may not be 3 o'clock exactly, but it might be out of 1 or 2 or 3 minutes after 3 that press conference will be held. But as a serious party, look, let's put it into the shoe. If Unity Party was given the state authority, okay, you are to address the nation by 2 o'clock, and then you prior to the press conference or to address the nation, you can't come up and tell the people that so and so down will not be having a press conference, but then you can't late. So who
So
will take you seriously?
so those are your grievances and your experience on the ground, tidiness. Being on time. Once you publish, you send out a statement as a political party. We're having a press conference at this time, and they send out a very official statement out, press release, and then all the journalists shows up, only to wait 3-4 hours after that. So yeah, I mean,
Just to clarify, how many times have that happened to you guys as a day? How many times have they done that?
Normally, Unity Party does not give that press conference on time.
Okay.
Normally, if they tells you by 3, that press conference may hold by 4 or 4:30. So they're not
uh,
always exact when it comes to time.
so that takes me to you, Joel. When it comes to all of that, and then the statement itself that was issued by the Unity Party, from the legal standpoint, do you think it holds weight that something's going to be done, or it's just something like, okay, let's just talk so our listeners, our followers, our supporters will listen and hear that
I
we
think
made a
for
statement.
now, it remains in the political realm. When you just talk like that, legal issues, we go to the court. We don't just talk about it and just talk about it on press conference. In fact, usually your legal memorandum should already be filed with the court. That way, you should be telling us now. So for
Right.
me, I just think it's still in the political realm yet. They are not yet going to the legal realm yet. That's what they exactly done. But on a serious note, I think I said the same thing before. Um, when it comes to organization, unity party is having problem.
Right.
That's something I have said. They have an organizational issue, and they are also passive. The standard bearer is passive. I'm sorry. I'm analyzing, not I have any personal issue against him, but I see him to be passive. Comparing him to his Himeen Rabo technically is how they call him Cummings, all right?
Right.
Cummings, he much more like the guy rightly said. I listen to the two of them. I see how he tries to focus on the issues. So Unity Party is having an organizational problem, and the organizational problem maybe a bigger issue behind that is funding. It's funding issue. I want to believe. I think that is affecting the Unity Party, and so it puts them in a little way that they are not going to be very strong. And I can say that if you want to be a main opposition political party, you cannot survive an election in the absence of having a very good financial support. There's no way that can happen.
That's
So
it.
Unity
That's it.
Party has to put herself together.
That's it. I think you touched a very key point right there. I always tell people this: money is very important in running a campaign. Very, very important. In as much because it will be a plus. You already have a good character, right? That's one aspect. Let's put that in one box. But let's say you have money available, which you need to run an effective campaign. So it almost worked in unison for you. You got good name, and then you got money on top of it. I mean, it's easy. It's easy to fight that kind of battle, but it becomes an uphill battle when there is no money. Because when you look at the Lofa elections, it's lack of finances, though. They probably defeated them. Lack of money. Because even the polling stations, some of the polling stations were not being monitored by any of their, candidates or people, pool or watchers. So what do you expect? Even if you have a pool watcher that belongs to your party and that is there, if you're not paying them enough, that way they're satisfied, they will compromise.
Yes,
They'll compromise. And
yes,
so this is the thing. And these guys, man, people believe it or not, I mean, these guys are the one running the government. They have the money. The election officials, NEC, is partly their appointees. What do you expect? You have all these obstacles fighting against you. So you need money and you need a good name. You know. So uh, um, you think that they're not going to go to court by filing any other legal means? That this is just once they made their statement, that's it.
There's noise in the background. Somebody need to mute their self off.
Yeah, that should be Jasper. Jasper, every time you kind of on hold, you gotta mute. Yeah, I know. You see, I just muted you and it's quiet. So just mute. When you're ready to talk, you unmute. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh, you talking to me?
Politics in am I online?
No, no, I was still on Joel with my question was, do you think
Oh.
that the statement that they came up with that UP put up is just a mere charade, as in, okay, let's do this. You don't think that they will follow through the legal means perspective?
I, I think they could follow through with the legal means, except that they have until they can do that, then we know that they're really serious. But if it remains in the statement form, press release form, then that means a more of like how can I call it, a political statement. That's how I would look at it. Because if
Hmm.
you want to go into the legal realm, you have to go. You don't want to give yourself a hard time about that. But again, unity party, there are several factors I can analyze that led to the failure. Now I agree CDC did not feel a candidate directly. They supported Jala. But I think that the Supreme Court case was a distraction. The case at neck, the case with Cummings was also a distraction.
Right.
It means that Unity Party they needed to have been on two fronts. And this is why I always tell people you could win a legal battle but lost a political battle. And I believe that when you are having elections in the following year, coming in the following year, whatever action you are taking, it should be about what political value that action gives to you ahead of the election. So number one, the Cumming case was one of those cases I don't agree with Uri taking that position. And I believe that Ambassador Boaka should have prevailed on Uri at the time to have abandoned that case, which he
Mhm.
didn't. I don't think that was the right thing to do. And the reason why that was the right thing to do was because what that did to them, it affected both Cummings and them. What it did was it allowed the media to portray them in a form that even voters and political supporters got distracted focusing on that particular case. Now you need to understand you need to give message and your message have to be uniform. You do not want to be giving mixed messages to voters. So what the cases did was the cases presented a mixed message to voters to the extent where some people are very uncertain. Number two, they needed to be in Lofa County while they were fighting the legal case if they wanted to do that, which means that while the case was in court, they needed to have been in Lofa, making sure they are on ground. Ambassador Waka was visiting Lofa frequently and there and doing a lot of work on ground in Lofa County, long ahead of the elections. Now, the trip they made to Lofa was a very short trip, and I don't think that was the best way to campaign. It was a very wrong way to campaign. You can't just go. Yes, crowd will come, spectators will come, but at least they needed to have gone there at least 2-3 weeks ahead, do a lot of groundwork, consult with the chiefs, go from towns and villages all around the place, and really do a very solid campaign, at least 1 month solid.
Right.
But
You know, something that was very intriguing to me with all the
yeah,
analysis you made when it comes to FOIA, to be more specific, right?
yeah,
Um, it's in pictures when you see it in videos. The paramount chief of FOIA, I didn't see him hand to hand with the current representative Sakila Nyumale, with the ambassador himself, Joseph Boakai. Instead, I saw him with Thomas Fala and the likes of Jala. What does because that tells you what does that tell you? That means this is the man who owns the town. He's the paramount chief.
mhm,
He's the one who's over all the other towns, the chiefs, and all the other people. So you may be right in an instance as in maybe because of the legal case they have going on, at the court in Monrovia with that with ANC Cummings, that became a distraction. And
yeah,
so a lot of resources and a lot of time and attention was not paid into Lofa. So, and that was the time CDC was strategizing using that time to leverage to their
mhm,
own advantage.
yeah,
So I mean, we have one of our viewers, Florence, is saying that the way we're talking, she thinks that we are in favor of ANC. We are not, because this is an independent network. What we do here is when we see wrong, we try to follow up as in what went wrong and how did it happen. Because I tell you here with what what's his name Jasper was talking about. If you call for a press conference, you a leading nation political opposition political party. Even if I am a member of the party, I will tell you wrong on that one, because you can't keep people, journalists have stories to cover, events to go to. You tell them to come, and there were almost 40, 50 journalists out there that day, and you keep them for not 30 minutes but 4, 2, 3 hours of wait time. No, man, come on, you can't do that to people. That's not organization. I mean, so I feel like they really do need to get back to the drawing board, because they are the largest, one of the largest opposition party. You have the big guys, and they still stand a very good chance of winning the election next year. Because when you find out what happens in Lofa, you see the Honorable Boakai himself, and you see Dillon in there, Yeke Kolba, all those other guys that went in there, you know, you can tell that they still have the fame. And Unity Party still has a lot of supporters. And so the strategy is they need to go back to the drawing board and find out what went wrong. What can we do? Because you are fighting an uphill battle. To unseat a sitting president is no joke. This guy and his guys, they are ready for 2023. They're going to do whatever it takes because, I mean, all the country money in their hand, the country budget is in their hand. They're going to use it to their advantage. That this is our last term. Let's pump it. Let's do it. So Unity Party opposition needs to understand that this is a strategy. And when it comes to ANC, I mean, with Cummings, it's hard to even find if there is a way through for him because he's just coming into the political arena for Liberia. Because Liberia has a way of saying, you bring your money, yes, we're going to eat it. Bring it. Because your name is not a household name yet. And you mentioned something like that similarly in the past, as in Cummings is running, but he's not even present in his own county. You see? So, and stuff like that. Those are the things that we're looking at. But specifically for Lofa, you, Otising, you were there. You saw the momentum. You know, what was your take from that aspect? Do you think, as in the way you saw the move and the barrage of dignitaries moving into Lofa, that man, this thing is a done deal? Unity Party got it. Did it surprise you to see the result?
Really, it surprises me and even the people of Lofa as well, because during the arrival of Ambassador Boaker and the delegates,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there was a huge crowd. There was a huge number of people that came out to welcome him and they were celebrating him. See what's going on? Like for now, people are saying, say nobody's stupid here. That's a common saying these days in Lofa County, that nobody's stupid here. But it seems again to be cooling down because we get the understanding that the Bandi people are getting every day to Ambassador Boakai, begging him to forget about the case. So that has started weakening some people because they were standing in the gap, trying to buttress and to support the idea of the party, that they may not only affect the party, but it may affect the entire country come 2023. That if they leave this case, if they forego this case, then that shows that Ambassador Boakai should not stand to contest some
Right.
of the things that happen in Foya. After the election, the next day, some of the motorcyclists they bought were rare rooster. They took the rooster to the headquarters of CDC. They tied the rooster behind the motorbike. They started dragging it away from Kandoning, past all the central streets of Foya. That rooster died. They arrested some of them. They jailed them. So most of these things happen. So they said that the way that rooster died, the Unity Party, including Ambassador Boakai, died, and they're going to bury them. In that, no, there will be no more Unity Party and Ambassador Boakai in Lofa County to be a godfather. That Umofala is a hero. Even with the pronouncement of the result, the next day after the election, Honorable Thomas Fala called on his radio by 2 a.m. announcing his victory. That Councillor Jala is a winner of the election. So people are asking now, NEC and Thomas Fala, who is to announce the results of the election? And since that has happened, NEC has not talked on that. That whether what Thomas Fala did was good or not, they have not talked on that, and they have not told the public anything about that. So now the
Mm-hmm.
worry of the people in Lofa County if they leave this case, because they are getting the rumors, speculations around that the bandits are meeting Ambassador Boake, that he should forget about the case. But if Ambassador Boake forgo the case, that they will never support him. Some of them are saying that, and some are even saying again that if Ambassador Boake and the party cannot forget or forgive those people, that create enmity between bandits and Gisis. Because
Mhm.
if we can go back to 2017, for Lofa County, for entire Lofa County, the bandits voted more than even the Gisis. CDC got some percentage in FOIA, then even in Bandi. The entire bandits they voted for Boake. So the people are saying that the relationship between the bandits and the Gisis should not be, curtailed, that they should maintain that relationship between them. And
What do
now
you think,
see if Jala at all don't take the seat. Yeah.
Ja- Jasper? What do you think?
If Jala does not take the seat
Are
for
there any
Lofa County,
are there any lessons? What lessons are there to learn from this just ended election and Lofa? What lesson? If there's anything to pick up good from there, what lessons or bad? What lessons do you think that you will advise if you were advising the Unity Party, the opposition, or CDC today? What lessons do you think you would give them?
Oh, thank you very much. Let me say this again. Lufa County still belongs to the Unity Party. That is for sure. I was not in Lufa County for the election, but I followed most of the platform, including this identical platform. I followed all of the activities. But what led to Unity Party not winning this election was the proceeding at the court. When the court, when they were dragged to court, they have limited time to campaign. So they have to go to the court, run after the case. While they were at the court, Mr. Jala and his lieutenant and other people were there campaigning. And my United Party couldn't go and campaign because you don't know your fate. So why if you go and campaign and then they could reject your candidate? So it means you have wasted some of your resources. So they waited, they went to the court, won the case, and after they won the case, I didn't tell you that
Hello? Seems like his internet is slow over there.
Yeah. So one of the thing, I saw Miss Kingsley. Miss Kingsley,
very
I
slow.
saw your
he
point.
really
Oh,
time they had a limited time to campaign. So I can still tell you that Lufa still belong to Ambassador Boake. And my own advice to the Unity Party is they need to rally around for money because campaign is about money. Without finances, look, this election is going to be very, very tough. I'm in Monrovia. I know what's going on here. We meet on a daily basis. We know where we can meet
They
and
were lacking of
what we
finance.
and what are some of the things that we discuss in the corridor. What we hearing, and we cannot talk all. They need to look for money because the Liberians are not ready for just free talk. Right now, no money, you won't get a vote. Even though you will not have to take money and pull it into somebody's pocket. No, you don't have to take money, but you need resources. You need to reach where others cannot reach. And the only way you can reach there is resources, financial resources. And I believe that the Unity Party is lacking our identical capacity. They don't have the finance right now to really campaign. And this was one of the reasons that led to their
But one would say though, Jasper, that this is just one aspect, which is one county, Lofa. The real one is on the way, which is 2023, the entire country. Because then and only then will all the political parties will know who's running, who has the weight. But this is just one county. One will argue that, as in, oh, okay, let's put this behind us. But the real one is coming that America, the world will be looking at. You know,
Uh, here is what I got to say. The Unity Party is the main opposition party.
Right.
There's no question about that. And what makes the Unity Party the main opposition party is Lofa County. That's the point.
Hmm.
What makes Unity Party the main opposition party is Lofa County. Because if you look at the votes that support that Wakai has some Lofa, it puts him in a comfortable position of going to a second round. Now, and I saw Miss Kingsley point. Miss Kingsley, um, we really not against JMB, and I don't take point. I'm not a member of the ANC, but we are looking at the factors that really, impacted him, and that will
Yeah.
impact him. All right. If he can mobilize at least minimum finances to run his campaign, it's going to impact him. So,
Good,
for
definitely.
example, the CEOs, initially said, you need to pay poll washers. They don't need $1,000 US, but at least you must have poll washers that you're going to take good care of at all the centers.
Right.
Definitely.
You need money
Definitely.
for them. All right. Now, if JMB is a serious presidential candidate, he must be able to afford that amount to just make sure that his poll watchers are there from in the morning to 12 midnight, and they are
Satisfied.
there looking at the votes. Because take for example, if JMB takes a case to, for example, to the court, and then they have to go and do a review, and they realize that maybe at 5 or 7 centers there was no unity party. I'm just giving an assumption. There were no unity party poll watchers. What do you do? You see, so they need finances. They need to be more proactive. They need to work on their image issue. For example, the brother make a very good point. Now, if they are calling for press conference, they have to be on time. And the reason why they have to be on time, they are a government in waiting. Currently, people are having problem with the current government. They have to show that we will be a government on time. So if
Exactly.
they're having press conference, that will ask the brother the question, how many times have this happened? And he's a journalist. I'm not a journalist. And he's telling me that every time that Unity Party call for a press conference, they come late. For me, that's a problem. That's a problem.
But you won't
Because
even
as a
do that.
government waiting,
Not to take that from you, Joy. You
yeah,
won't do
yeah,
that
yeah.
here in America. It's
Mm,
hard because if they tell you this, you show up. You won't even. They won't even let you in as a journalist because the president is speaking then. You
yes.
gotta be there like an hour ahead or 30 minutes waiting. If you don't show up on time, they keep you. They set you down. You're not going in there because right on the dot, the president. If the president is supposed to go give this State of the Union address, and he doesn't show up into the House of Senate and representative is sitting there at particular time, that's a problem. So our people and this thing is a Liberian thing, which is not good. Liberian because it all goes around. Liberian people don't respect time, but it's not all Liberian people.
Yeah.
It's systemic. We can change the two because if you are a party of change that's coming in with a change, you have to make that difference. Let the people begin to see it because people are going to evaluate and weigh the two options. Can we go with what we have now? Are we okay? Or what we have coming in, are they going to be any better or any different from what we have? All of that. So those are options that
I,
people are
I, I,
thinking about.
I have said this again. 2023 is not too far. But if JMB and his team can mobilize small resources, they are going to be a very strong with the election. If they can just do just at least a minimum, bare minimum, yes.
Right.
But if they can really make it, the CDC is going to take advantage of their financial weaknesses. So one thing people need to understand: the CDC was in the opposition, and one of the problems that CDC faced was money. One of the reasons that Erling beat CDC 1 or 2 times with money.
Right. Right.
Joria was very popular. Joria had Monserrato under his belt. But the challenge Joria faced at the time was raising adequate money to fund his campaign. Erling had that to her advantage. She was able to raise a lot of more money than CDC, and she was able to organize her campaign effectively. So, irrespective of Joria popularity, that put her ahead of the game. So CDC knows that. They are aware of that. So they are aware that if JMB gets some money, he can attract some money. They know that will be a very rough thing for them.
What do you guys think? Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move up a little bit from there. You will
They,
come in.
they,
The NEC guy. You want to say something before I move on to the
they
next
really have
topic?
to do something about that.
Oh, okay, okay. So what I want us to talk about a little bit because of time is the NEC, the National Election Commission. Come 2023, what's the way forward? Are they balanced? Can the opposition trust them? Right? Predominantly, if you watch a couple of weeks ago when we brought uh, his his honor, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, on the show, and I asked him the same question if he trusted the NEC. He said no, because he said majority of its appointees are seditions. So if the political opposition parties at this point do not trust the National Election Commission, and you have national elections coming up 2023, what should be done to avoid that? To make sure that they are balanced, because they need to be neutral, because they can easily get the country or get back into chaos.
Yes. One of the things I have observed is that the current next year lacks the moral standing, especially with that corruption scandal, that conflict of interest case. That was a case I expected she would have resigned. It's just like in Liberia, our people, we have gone. I just don't understand our people in Liberia. If you occupy a public office, sometimes you are not resigning so much about your personal gain or whatever, but you are resigning because you want to make sure the country is put first. If I were the one cheering the next national election commission and I have to award a contract to my brother exorbitantly and what I'm cheering, automatically it puts me into a little it brought an integrity issue on my character. So I was looking and feeling that the chair would have resigned. She didn't resign. So for me that was a red flag. The second red flag I have with them was the recent case that went to the Supreme Court. All right. Now that case, the way they handled the case at
Mhm.
NEC, they did not handle the case the way they should have handled it as an independent body. All right. So we saw how the Supreme Court ruled, which I predicted at the time. You remember that what the way they handled that case, the way they ruled in that case, almost all of the issues that they took over to the Supreme Court whipped their butt down. That was not a very good thing. When you are a lower court judge and you are sending case to the Supreme Court and they overturn almost all of the issues that you raised, it sent a problem about what you are doing over there legally. So I think the National Election Commission, they need to work very hard. And then look at Lofa County, for example. It took them too long to give the result for Lofa County. Lofa County is so small. I expect them to be up to the minute. Okay, I agree by law they have to report in 15 days.
In 15 days, right?
Yeah, by law.
But the notion here is not to take to piggyback from you, to take it out of here. The longer you wait, the more suspicion you create
That's
in
the
the
problem.
minds of people that something fishy is going on.
That's the problem. So what you need to be doing as an agency is to make sure how you can expedite the process so that people are getting the results by the minute. Lofa County is one county. It's not a very big county. I expected that the very next day we're gonna be, right there going there, and they kept. For me, that was a little problematic. For me.
And where the people have problem is their website was down for some times, for some hours. So that tells the people that they might have been doing something
Yeah.
that's wrong against the opposition. And their points that they gave, that was one of their points. The NEC website was down while the counting was going on. And the first day of the count, Unity Party was leading massively, while Unity Party was in 20,000, while Jala was in 15. So that brought the attention of the people. Say, wow, how can the counting be going on and then the website is down while others are seeing, others are viewing? Then that means that people were manipulating something somewhere. against the opposition. So these are the observations of the people. And now what Unity Party have to do if it wants to take over Lofa County or regain the glory, they have to look for more funds. Because what I observed in 4 years, if we cannot have money, then just sit back. Even with the promise
Again,
that Honorable Tifa made that if any administrative district in 4 years statutory district that gave high vote, he's going to give $1 million Liberian, and he did. The people of Guam gave the highest vote, and he gave them the 1 million.
Yeah, but listen to
Just
this. This
after the next day,
listen to this, and
gave
this
the
is
1 million.
this
So
is
people have to. I'm not talking about the urban area, but for the interior parts of this country, they have to do something. They have to look for finance.
so that leads this question that Florence Kingsley is asking, right? So are people going to vote? Let me bring the question right on the screen, right there. So you want to tell me that people would be people votes will be of no use because of money? Are they waiving their constitutional right to getting money? Is that why you guys see happening? And that's a very fair question.
It is
yeah.
what
So
going on.
here is
It
my
is what going on.
response to Florence. Florence, in elections, there are people who have integrity and they vote without emotions. They vote irrespective of whether money is involved. And there are those who need money. When I say need money, sometimes not so much in their pocket. They want to see you do something in their community that must be visible so they can see. So, for example, Ambassador Joseph Walker have been vice president for 12 years. I'm not saying he could do it, but probably he needs to erect some other things in the community people can see also the same way CDC is doing there. That competition, you can't do otherwise. Unity Party were in power for 12 years. Someone will say, okay, Unity Party were in power for 12 years. What is some of the infrastructure they built in Lofa County? In Foya District, for example, where the ambassador is living. So if Unity Party has an infrastructure, then they should be talking about that infrastructure. We build this for you people. We build this. We build that. They should be showcasing it so that it makes people to see the competition. But like I said
Yeah,
initially, if you get
yeah,
Thomas Fala, who is a Kisi guy from Foya District, and he's also there talking to his brothers and sisters in Foya District, they're also going to say, okay, he too is also our son. Some of them will say, we're going to follow him, regardless of money. Regardless, even me right here, if I go to Foya and I put him there, some people say, no, he's our son too. We'll follow him. So what CDC is doing here, CDC may not win Lofa. But what CDC is strategically doing is to lower Joe Walker votes in Lofa. That's what they are doing. They are not
Yeah.
going to say, okay, we're going to win Lofa. No. All they want to do is
yeah,
to lower the number of votes that Joe Walker will
yeah.
be able to get from Lofa County. That's the strategy. And so what Joe
And
Walker needs
again,
to be
what I
doing now
observe,
is he needs now to be able to spread his tentacles in the county and re-solidify. And that's why I said
yeah,
he has to make sure he relocate to Lofa County. And I'm saying it, and people may not want to accept that, and be more based in Lofa County than Monrovia. Because Lofa County is the strategy for him to go in the second round. That's my own,
yeah. What I
little
observe, what I
Just what
observe
are you gonna
again is
say about
that
that?
what let Unity Party
Yeah.
down is time, money, and how the placement of those candidates. Because for whole entire lower Lofa, only Jala contested. And where Unity Party had a stronghold is Upper Lofa, and there are plenty candidates over there. More than two, three, four candidates were from there. And Lower Lofa only Councillor Jala. And Unity Party never had the money to campaign. Unity Party never had the time to campaign. And what we observe nowadays is that we have two major groups of people. We have the literate and the illiterates. So when there is a huge number of the illiterate people, however, money will conquer them, money will carry them. So that what happened with this election, just ended senatorial election in Lofa County. Because if there are a group of or literate people, even you bring your money, with that they will eat and vote against you. Well, where there is a number of illiterate people, they will eat the money and follow the money. So what I observe in Lofa
Okay.
County,
Thank you. I've been sitting on the background, getting all of your points and views. As it relates to the question, Miss Florence is asking, you know, I don't know where she live personally, but I'm gonna show you Liberia now. Liberian live on money. The first thing, the hardship in Liberia is too much. It's too much. So to easily buy somebody vote is nothing. People purchasing vote. We see that election come, election go. So if you don't have money, yes, money is one of the key factor in election. Without money, it will be hard. Even when Senator Dillon won the election in Masoro County, they have to have some rally for him, dollar rally, and that put him to a better place. Even though people were disenchanted at the time, but let me tell you, money is very important in any election.
Mullah.
Money is very, very important. You need flyers, it costs money. You need transportation, it costs money. You need people to disseminate your message, you need money. And those guys, they are leaving their family, they are leaving their children to work for you. You need to pay them. And let me tell you, if somebody is dissatisfied, if you pay somebody and they are not paid the way they wanted, and somebody else come and pay them, definitely in Liberia now, I'm gonna show you they will leave you and go to where they get a better job. Because nobody going to die beyond somebody, and they will tell you, say, I will not die poor. The first thing they will tell you, I think you some money. Somebody give me $500 to go and process something for you. And then somebody can say, look, that thing, that money down there, let me give you $1,000. That guy will never die poor. He will leave your job and find a way to where he will get you $1,000. So if you don't have the money, definitely election, you will have or you face some difficulties. You feel a lot of difficulties. And when it comes to the National Election Commission, you know, they've been dragged to court on so many occasions. Integrity issue hanging on them. You got they talk about hijack, they hack the system. So for this, just a county election can be hacked. What do you expect in 2023, where the entire country you have the standard bearer, the representative, and out of the senator, all will be going for election. So what do you expect? So most of the opposition, they have placed no vote of confidence into NEC, because NEC has not been performing their duty as a neutral or twins mother. They are not. They are not doing it. So the opposition is disenchanted. I think you really pressed with it that Joe Biden, the Unity Party gave. But before even the Unity Party went for election, they said that clear. They said that we don't trust the National Election Commission. They said
That's
that.
it. That's it. That's it,
They said that
gentlemen.
very clear.
It's been an hour show. And,
This
let
is
me
why
get your final comments and statements and comments. Then we can wrap up from here. Time is of the essence. So let me start with you, Otising. What's your final comment? And then
Well, my
then
final comment.
we'll go to Jasper, then Joel.
All right, first deal with the labyrinth, right?
Yeah.
Because you are in the states over there.
Your internet not stable. It can call or freeze anytime. So when we get your letter,
I know that. Okay. So thank you very much for creating this platform so that every one of us are benefiting in the entire globe. And this is one of the major platforms that everyone sees and get to know what's going on in this world, especially for we that are in Liberia. Talking about the just ended or election in Lofa County and giving our views, our observation is a very good thing that we have to be doing, as you have created this channel that we have to be following. So I'm very much grateful, and my recommendation to these politicians, those who want to run, they should look for fundings, they should look for partners, and let them be able to sponsor those that they are sending in the field and be able to reach to all the nearby villages, help others that are in need so that they can be able to gain what they are looking after. So I thank you very much, and Thank you to the CEO and to all my colleagues on this platform.
Jasper.
Okay. On that note, I want to say thanks to everyone. Thanks for uh everyone contribution. Those are watching and those are following and those that may come later to watch the video. Want to say thank you. This platform is an independent platform. Here we doesn't preach politics for anybody. We speak the truth. We discuss what we see. Yeah, we discuss what we see. So I want to say keep following this platform. This platform is here to provide credible, balance and balance and independent information. We will provide you every bit of information as it relates to Liberia. So I want to say thank you very much again.
Joel, what's your take? Close it up.
Um, my own warning is Liberia is all we have. We should be positive. All the political parties, whether it's either the party, whether it's CDC, we expect them. CDC should do her best. They need to make sure they show leadership. The National Election Commission, we have to do her best. We have no other country like Liberia, and we want to see that our country is stable by having very peaceful and transparent election. And I'm also looking at the Supreme Court or the judiciary. They need to make sure that these elections, that if cases go before them, they must do their best they can to handle those cases with no bias, with no influences, so that the country can be stable at the end of the day. Thank you.
My man, July 26th is coming. Well said. July 26th is coming. 2 weeks from now, Liberia will be celebrating 175 years of independence. In the first place, let me say it this way. My 26 on you. And to
I'm just
all the
saying,
Liberian
Lofa,
people, my
you
26
just
on
saying,
you. Those who
you
watching
just
this,
saying now.
my 26 on you. Y'all who over there, y'all can send money to America. Me, my 26, I would like money your Sunday. Okay, my 26 on you. Joel, you right here, I will fall down on you. You will send my 26.
yeah, yeah.
So
Give them my number. Give them my number. Let them send it through me so that I can
oh,
send it to you.
You
okay.
want to be the custodian?
Yeah. He wants the money to pass through him. But on a serious note,
Yeah.
folks, we love to thank you for being with us, following us, especially Florence, who's been very active today
Yeah,
on the
very
screen
engaging.
with
Thank
us.
you, Florence. We
Very
appreciate
engaging.
your comments.
We love your opinion and we respect it. Uh, for our listening audience, look, we have an opening for two female contributors to be on this show. So if you know someone who is independent, who has an open mind and love to be on the show, contact us. Just let us know. We'd love to have them. A journalist, someone who's very versed when it comes to national issues as well. Tomorrow we'll be here at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Central Time. That will be 7 p.m. Liberian time for the gospel show. And tomorrow we'll be talking about marriage. Responsible why marriages fail and why some succeed, why some fail, why other secular marriages, tend to live longer than all those religious marriages. So tomorrow I have all the guests that will be here on the show. I have two people that will be on the show live, 2 o'clock Central Time, and that will be 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Be part of the show. Follow us. Wednesday, we'll be bringing you business stuff this coming Wednesday for sure. And then Thursday, we'll talk about health, the medical part. We already got people lined up for that, experts that are good in those areas that know what they're talking about. So follow us. As a network, we're an independent network. I will post all those programs far ahead of time so you can have them on your calendars and schedules. Again, my name is Sam Gadu. We love to thank you. And then, hey, these people, man, CDC won, so we got to give them a little bit. Come back home. Liberians come back home, just like Joel said. Liberia is all we got. So come back home. Let's build Liberia.
Yeah, waiting for you for the celebration, for the July celebration. Waiting for you guys from out there, so you people should come back home to
All
celebrate
right.
the 26th. Yeah. How about you
Really?
say you are just saying it? We should come back home. So for all we are home already, so it left with you guys to come back home.
That's a good one. That's a good one. We're
Yeah.
coming. Sunday guys say come back home. We're all coming back home to build. This is the time we need
And
to use.
you have to come good.
Right. And we got to come back to build Liberia for not this generation, but our generation and the kids, and those who are yet to come, the unborn. That's what we should do as a network. Until then, I salute you all with
Thank
due
you.
respect.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
See you in
Bye
the next
bye.
broadcast. Love you all.
Thank you.